Hello everyone, this is Dr. Samir, your cloud architect. Welcome to today's session where I'll be diving deep into one of the most powerful automation tools in the AWS ecosystem, AWS Cloud Formation. In this session, we are going to explore both theoretical concepts and hands-on labs to give you a complete understanding how cloud formation works in real-world environment. We'll start with the core theory, understanding what cloud formation is and why it is used and how it helps to automate infrastructure deployment using code. You'll learn key concepts like stacks, templates, resources, and outputs, and all essential building blocks of infrastructure as a code on AWS. Once we covered the fundamentals, we'll move on to the practical labs. Let's get started. So cloud formation is nothing but a service where you can, make infrastructure as a code. Suppose if you want to write infrastructure as a code, then you need to use this cloud formation. So this is basically you any kind of a infrastructure, like if you want to provision, you can use this, and this is a very strong tool. So, but only works for AWS. You can automate the creation, configuration of management of AWS resources. In the simple terms, to make you understand, it's a blueprint for your AWS environment. Whatever the resources you need, like EC2 or S3 or VPCs or IAM roles, whatever you want, you can configure through you know AWS Cloud Formation. So here, basically, you need to create a stack in the sense template where you can upload your code and it will automatically deploy the resources. Basically, it will provision. So the major benefits what you get is that infrastructure as a code, your infrastructure is version controlled and reusable, and automation, no manual setup needed, everything is automatic, and it will ensure your environment like development, test, and production, whatever you want to do. Rollback, if something falls, means if there is any problem, if there is something fails during the deployment, it automatically rollbacks the changes. You can also integrate with code pipeline, GitHub, Jenkins, Terraform, and others. You can easily integrate with code pipeline, GitHub, Jenkins, and other things. All these are the different advantage. Same thing you can do if you don't want to use cloud formation. You can also do through Terraform. Also, Terraform advantage is that there you can deploy in multiple other products also. Like it will help you to deploy in not suppose if you have Azure or Google platform or other platform, by using Terraform scripts you can run. But this is only specific to AWS. If you're planning only if your environment is AWS and you want to do deployment only in AWS, in that case, cloud formation is better. You can write a code, you can upload it. So basically, it will support two types of template formats. One is YAML language, and second one is JSON. Either you should write a code in YAML or JSON. Both are available. So, and it also has a graphical view also. Whether if you want to create a graphical view to write the code, that's also possible. And apart from it, if you want to deploy in multiple location, cross region or cross account deployment, that's also possible. You can create a stack set and you can deploy in multiple location. You can reuse it, and it also supports version control. Means you can store them in Git or code commit if it is AWS, and it supports complaints and governance. Automate rollbacks is possible, cost control is possible. All these are the different features what you get with the AWS Cloud Formation. If suppose if you have multiple environments, then I would recommend you to go with Terraform. It's only AWS, you can directly go here. So you just need to click on create a stack. Stack means you need to upload a template or create a template here. So here you get an option, choose an existing template or build from infrastructure composer. So this is basically if you're planning to get some idea with the graphical view, you can create an infrastructure composer. But in this, infrastructure composer will only help you to give you some view of the infrastructure. Means graphically you can drag and drop the things, and you can create a view of infrastructure as a code. That advantage is there. So basically what it will do is that you can visually design your cloud architecture. For example, EC2 instances, VPC, or anything, you just drag and drop the services, and automatically it will generate the code. Means the composer generates the code in the background. You can download and export this code and for version control, for automation. So now when it creates the code, it cannot be completely accurate. Some manual work you need to do. So it's up to you, like directly, if you want you can do that as well. For example, let's assume I want to deploy an EC2. I can just type EC2 here, and I'll get different things what I want to do in EC2. And I can create, like, EC2 IPAM is there, IPAM pool is there. So many things are already there here. I can just drag and drop what I want to do it. I want to create an instance, then I can type here instance. So here it will provide me the resources, AWS instance resources, instance profile. So this is the EC2 instance. The moment I drag and drop here, automatically, if you see the details, this is the instance. I can create a name and give the resource configuration details. And here, if I click on template, just a simple template created. So I can update and I can copy it. Or else, what I can do is that if I go back in JSON, this is the JSON code of the EC2 instance, and this is the YAML code. Both the formats it will provide you based on your requirement. So here, like this, I can drag and drop and I can create the resources. But the problem here is that everything will not work accurately, but sometimes you might need to write the code as per your requirement. So when I drag and drop, it's just given a format. Now the other details, dependencies for everything, if you write it, it would be better. It will become more easy. Then you can say create template and confirm and continue to cloud formation. Then automatically one template gets created. Means the same thing will be moving to the template format to deploy. So means, which means that you just created with the composer. What it will do, it will upload that file in this S3 URL, and you can start deploying that code. But in reality, what will happen is that it will be very tough. Why? Because the code is not proper, so you don't have the complete clarity on the code. So if you want to do a proper clarity on the code, then you need to know the proper JSON template should be required. So in my case, what I did is that I created one deployment code. This is basically called as VM deployment code to deploy a simple Linux machine. So now how do I do it? So remember one thing, this is the code which I have taken it. Now how do I got this code? Basically, you can go to ChatGPT or you can go to any websites automatically. If you ask what you need, it will generate a code, but modifications you should know very properly. So in this case, this thing I need to modify because I don't know which image ID I'll be using it. And this is the key name what I want to use it. Okay. And then you have something called as subnet ID, because this also will change based on the current creation what you give. And security groups, this ID also you can modify as per your current requirement. Okay. And rest all you can use it. So what I'm going to do is that, for that, first I'll go to this one, and I'll go to EC2, and first I'll check what I have in my requirement, current network environment, whether what subnet I'm using and all. So if I click on instances, currently I don't think so any instance is running in this thing. So let me check and see what. Yeah, nothing is there. I think so. Okay. And VPC, I'll go. This is my VPC. So let me check what exactly we have. So this is my first. Let me copy the code. Control A, Control C. I am opening one more notepad. Save as desktop deployment. Uh, CF Cloud Formation. I'm giving this. Now what I'll do is that here first I need to have the key pair and image ID. So let us go and check. So here, okay, we already have VPC and we have subnet also. Yeah, we have one subnet. We have one VPC, no problem. And let me see if we have any key pair. Okay, so I'll say create a key pair and what key pair I'll give? I'll give Linux. Okay, Cloud Formation key. Okay, PPK create key pair. Okay, so I have the key pair Cloud Formation key. So what I can do is that in this code, the key name, I'm just doing this. And now here, I need to change the image ID. So let us see what is the Linux image ID we have. I go here, I click on instance. You're understanding, right? What I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to modify the code. So I'm making it prepared so that there is no challenge while deploying the code. So scroll down. Yeah. So I'm going with Amazon Linux. Whichever the OS you want, you can go. It's not necessary that you should go with Amazon Linux only. I am just going with Amazon Linux for my ease of this thing. So okay. So I'll use this FW41. Okay. So let me check if that. Okay. So here if you see this code doesn't have the image ID. So what I'll do is that I'll modify this 0F9708D1 CD2C FEE41. Okay, that's done. So I selected this image ID and T2 micro, that's also done. I think key pair I already have. Cloud formation key, no problem. Let's go back to the code and image ID is there. T2 is there. Subnet ID. So subnet ID, we already have one subnet here. Uh, Click on this subnets. I think this is my subnet ID. copy this in the code, go here, go here. So what I'm gonna do is that I am going to remove this. Yeah, done. And security groups, if I have any security groups, I can use it. So I'll go here. Okay, all done. I'm saving the code, close it. So now go to Cloud Formation. Now my code is ready. So I kept it in my local computer. See, this is my code with my new configuration. So you need to make a proper before itself. So I'm just modified the code. Now I'm going back here. So click on create stack. So here I get an option, choose an existing template. And so here you have an option like S3 URL. Suppose if you already have the code in S3, you can select this or upload a template file. So directly you can upload the code through a file or sync from Git. So you have all the three options. I'm simple. I just click on upload a template for file because I already have the code copied in my local laptop. So I click go here and desktop and where. Yeah, deployment. This is my document I'm attaching. So you can see here automatically it has uploaded through S3 URL. So via this URL, it will push to the cloud environment, AWS environment. Click on next. So here it's asking a name. So I will say uh, infra VM deploy. So anything you can give, I just given that name. Click on next. So it's asking, do you want to add a tag or do you need to create a role? See, by default, you need a role, but I am leaving it to the optional so that it can create. And I'm leaving it to roll back all stack resources if something goes bad and any deletion policy is there. So use deletion policy. So suppose if I don't want, I can delete back again. I'll say next. Other optionals, I'm not checking it. Scroll down and say submit. So one time if I have the template, in few minutes you can see that you know it's a one time task. Once your templates are ready, and afterwards next time onwards you can easily handle any templates. You just need to understand how to manage the code and validate the codes. If you have that knowledge, I think you can easily do. So now code deployment showing status as in progress, so we just need to wait. So creation completed. So which means that the deployment is been completed successfully. So if there is any problem, it will throw an error. So right now I can see green mark. Green mark in the sense your infrastructure as a code. The Linux deployment is happening in the background. So let us go and check in our EC2. Click on EC2 and click on instances. Now you would see one VM is deployed. Can you see this? Automatically, the machine is getting deployed through the code. So this you have not done manually, you have done through the code. See, AP South 1B, the VM, and this is the instance ID. my Amazon Linux instance, the name which I've given. So it's automatically created through the code. So within second, the deployment has been successful. And because this name I have given my Amazon Linux instance, so it is used the same thing. If you want to change, you can change. It's up to you. So now you can see this got created. Now, if you don't want this machine, you can also delete the thing as well. So if you go up here and say delete, so do you want to delete the deployment? So delete initiated for ARN. So what will happen is that because we defined a deletion policy also, so automatically your code will get removed. Means this machine will get terminated. See, it is being shut down. So like this, you can do anything whatever you want. You can do through the code. So it's a very powerful tool. You should be very careful while doing it. Just check couple of times if the code is correct or not, and then you can do. And the moment you do it, you can execute the code, you can create the stack, you can configure the stack actions, you can update the stack. Suppose once the stack is done, if you want to modify anything and you want to update, that's also possible. So very means I would say that this is a very strong tool if you're planning to work on the cloud formation. See, I have created and I have deleted as well. So within seconds, the thing is also get the deletion is also got completed. Creating stack, simple. Click on this, upload your template, scroll down, just say upload a template. Once your code is ready, choose file, go here, select, then scroll down, next. You can say next, give the name, deploy, click on next. That's it. Everything default, you go, click on next, scroll down, and just say submit. Your code will get deployed. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir. Simon, sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
So, not in the learning case, in real time or in production
Mhm.
case, I mean, if I'm modifying the code, so how you change it like image ID, security group, key pair, and subnet also. Okay. So, in
Mhm.
real case, only these four factors only we were considering for modify or based on the requirement we are
Without
changing other things.
no, without that modification also you can deploy it. So my code I have written in that way.
Okay.
Okay. Suppose if you say that automate creating, let's assume subnet ID, but anyways you need to have. But the key pair at the time of creating the EC2 instance, we can tell it to create automatically. And the other thing, what you asked, security group ID, that also can be created automatically. Subnet should be there before itself, so that you can't do anything because network know that is okay.
Okay.
Other things also you can tell it automatically, so the code itself will create that as well, so you no need to do again update that. So the factors, you what you need to understand is that main dependency, non dependency, there are two things are there. Main dependency in the sense primary dependency means like VPC. You cannot tell it to create automatically VPC because you can tell to create VPC, but what happens is that then you will not have the control on your infrastructure. No, because how you want to set up your VPC, your organization security standards, if that you can do it manually, and rest all things you can, like subnet ID or sorry, security group ID or key pairs, all those things are not so critical. So those all things you can ask cloud formation to do it. So it will do, so it will create. and then you can use it JSON or YAML, and you can configure it. And once your code is ready, you can deploy it. It's not just only for EC2. It can be anything, like it can be S3 bucket, or it can be anything, whatever you want to do it. Suppose if you want to create a cross region replication, or you want to create a NACL firewall rule in AWS EC2, or you want to use it for deployment of any application, or you want to make a web server, whatever you want, in everything you can do through CloudFormation. It's a very powerful tool, means whatever you want you can do.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So it is not that this will not do, that will not do, nothing like that. So very powerful tool. So, uh, but only thing is that you should have some knowledge on JSON or YAML. If you have that, it will become more easy for you. Means customization, if you want to do anything, you know how to modify the templates, it will become very, very easy. So, see, basically all resources like EC2, auto scaling, Lambda, ECS, ES3, EBS, EFS, RDS database creations you can do through CloudFormation. DynamoDB creations you can do, subnets you can configure, route tables, NAT gateways, load balancers you can create, and cluster ECS means that is basically you can configure, monitoring you can configure. So complete full VPC setup you can do, full web application architecture you can build, and Lambda you can configure. Like the other day we did, right? Lambda manually, graphically we did. That also not required. Through code itself you can do. And you can modernize the infrastructure by nested stack. All those things you have that advantage of doing with the cloud formation. And you can also integrate with CI/CD pipeline, and you can plan as a disaster recovery and replication. Suppose you have the complete infrastructure, let's assume you have some thousand servers, and you have so much of different VPC configuration, network configuration, database configuration, everything. You can take that blueprint as a code, and you can redeploy it in a backup or a DR location, or you can keep that safely. Anytime if there is a huge disaster, you can do the replication within minutes if you have the code. Understood? Provided your data is backup is there. So basically, where we use, why do we use this is basically, like for example, you have a three-tier web application deployment, like you have front end EC2, back end load balancer is there, or database is there, or containers are there. Like for example, e-commerce website or SaaS companies which they use for booking portals or anything. Rather than doing manually, you can go with the this service called as AWS Cloud Formation. Serverless deployment you can do, event driving machine, and CI/CD pipeline, code commit or GitHub deployments you can do. You can use it for deploying the container clusters or Kubernetes clusters. You can use it, or you can, let's assume you have bulk users who newly joined to your organization, IM users, or you want them to have a KMS keys or groups and roles. All those things you can do, and multi-region disaster recovery solutions you can use, like not one, anything, so many things you can do through cloud formation, provided JSON or YAML. The same thing if you want, you have Azure also, you want to do manage multiple environments. In that case, you can go and configure through Terraform. So Terraform will support HashiCorp language, same like how I showed you now. The in the notepad I copied the code, right? Same way. For example, let me show you Chat GPT. I go here. Let's assume. Uh, um, so one second. So let's assume this is my current code, deployment code. Control A, Control C. I can go here Uh, Please rewrite below code in HashiCorp, which is Terraform understanding, and Control V enter. So what will happen is that automatically it will write in Terraform. So whatever I have given, right? So everything has been written in Terraform. I can see here this is using the Terraform. You just need to copy this and execute in Terraform once your Terraform is installed. Go to Google and you can easily install Terraform also. Terraform for Windows, type and install Terraform. And here you'll get the Windows libraries, download it and install. And once it is installed, then you can execute the same code by using the Terraform, but provided you need to initially create IAM account, means you need to have the secret key and access key to connect to the AWS environment via Terraform. By that, with that you can do it, so that we will see later. Okay, so same thing, like whatever you did through cloud formation, same thing you can do through the Terraform also. Very easy way, very simple. So if you see the code also in Terraform, it is very simple, human understanding way. So if you are not clear with JSON, you can use like this. See, it is properly defined resource AWS instance, what AMI ID, instance type, key name, subnet ID, security group. Simple way you can define and you can execute it. So language is little easy in HashiCorp because it's similar like a Python and you can work easily. So that is the advantage of going with Terraform compared to your cloud formation. As I told you, if you are having multi environment, in that case you can use this. Clear?
Yeah, Terraform look easy actually. So as been there, we need not to learn the JSON, right?
Yeah, means Terraform is comparatively little easy language, but once you get that confidence of doing writing the code, I think JSON also you'll not find much challenge.